Tonight we are reading Judith by Heather Violanti. Playing Judith,
Julia Dimant.
Playing Shakespeare,
Tom Kane.
Playing Anne,
Valerie O'Hara.
Playing Beatrice,
Amy Losi.
Playing Susanna,
Lynne.
Playing Thomas,
Christopher Young.
and reading the stage directions,
Heather Violanti. Prologue. A pool of dim early morning light. Judith stands in the center, dressed in a ragged 16th century dress. She stares ahead. She listens. Nothing. She waves her arms. She jumps up and down. She crouches. She growls. Nothing. She hits the stone floor with her hands. She listens. Did someone hear? Is anyone there? Anyone?
I am absence. The space between before and after, neither here nor there. The twinless twin, the unwanted girl. I am not. No. I am.
Crash, blackout. Act 1, Scene 1. 10 August 1596, twilight. The kitchen of the Shakespeare home. A body, shrouded in white linen, lies on the table. Judith stands beside the table and stares hard at the body.
Judith?
Judith crawls underneath the table and enters.
Judith, time for bed. Judith? Where is that girl?
She looks for Judith, but stops when she sees the shrouded body.
Like two peas in a pod, you two. Thought you'd be the death of me that day you and your sister jumped out of the laundry basket, dressed like elves. My heart beat so hard. My heart. I wanted to see him one last time.
You should go to bed.
I'll not sleep.
Oh, go to bed.
Anne goes to kiss Shakespeare on the cheek. He turns away. She leaves. Judith, under the table, shifts position, creating a rustling noise. Shakespeare hears it. Judith holds herself very, very still. Shakespeare decides to ignore the noise. He approaches the shrouded body.
My boy, I thought one day I'd dance at your wedding, and I'd hold your firstborn in my arms and see that he has my nose. I thought one day I'd give you these.
He holds out a pen and paper.
The tools of the trade. My trade. I thought you'd be a writer. I hoped. The miserable have no other medicine but hope.
He pats Hamlet's shrouded head. He places the pen and paper carefully in the bindings and exits. When she is sure Shakespeare is gone, Judith emerges from underneath the table. She stares at the form of her dead twin brother. She sees the pen and paper where Shakespeare left them. She picks them up and studies them as if they are magic objects.
Judith?
Judith shoves the pen and paper into the folds of her skirt. She kisses Hamlet's forehead.
Goodbye, Hamlet.
Blackout. The tolling of a funeral bell. Scene 2. 11 August 1596. The churchyard, Holy Trinity, Stratford. Two pallbearers carry Hamlet's shrouded body, followed by Shakespeare, Anne, and their daughters, Susanna and Judith. Everyone wears scarves over their faces to ward off plague. Judith carries a bouquet of wildflowers. She runs up to the body and tries to place the bouquet on top of it. She can't quite reach it. Her mask slips off her mouth and nose.
Judith?
He needs flowers, Mama.
This is not the time.
Anne, a moment, gentlemen.
Shakespeare motions for the pallbearers to stop. He lifts Judith so she can put the flowers atop of Hamlet's body, then lowers her back gently to the ground. He gestures for the procession to continue. The pallbearers move on, followed by Shakespeare and Susanna. Anne stops for a moment and quickly adjusts Judith's scarf, so her mouth and nose are covered.
You must not breathe the poisoned air. We don't want to lose you too.
Are you sure?
Anne smiles and pats her on the head. Blackout. Scene 3, August 15th, 1596, the Forest of Arden. Shakespeare, Anne, Susanna, and Judith are rehearsing a scene from Shakespeare's newest play, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare plays Oberon, Anne is Titania, and the two girls are fairies. Both Judith and Susanna sport homemade wings and are very proud of them.
You met by moonlight, proud Titania.
What, jealous Oberon? Fairies, skip hence.
Susanna and Judith skip hence.
I have forsworn his bed and company.
Harry, rash wanton, am I not thy lord?
Then I must be thy lady, but I know that thou hast.
Oberon and Titania's dialogue fades into the background as the focus shifts to Judith and Susanna.
Find out, you know.
Who?
Father.
Find out what?
You know.
No, I don't.
Susanna starts to skip in a circle, singing to herself.
Anna,
I'm rehearsing.
what will Father find out?
I don't know.
You just said.
You just said.
Don't tease me. Don't you see? Did you see?
I like my wings. They're like spider webs. Yours look like dead leaves.
Did you see me take them?
What?
Judith starts to cry.
Girls, is everything all right?
We're just rehearsing, Mama.
We'll rehearse quieter. I need to concentrate.
Yes,
Yes,
Papa.
The girls speak more quietly.
How did you find out?
I looked under your pillow.
Will you tell?
That depends.
I'll give you my wings.
Ugh.
I know you like them. You're just saying they're ugly to pretend you're not jealous.
Why would I be jealous?
Because I have Hamlet's pen.
So that's what you took.
You tricked me. You said you had looked under my pillow.
I lied.
Susanna!
I could tell you were up to something. The way you never met my eye.
I'll give you my wings and my coral necklace. Just don't tell Papa.
Do you think I'm stupid?
Please.
I won't tell, Judith.
Promise.
If I tell, he'd blame me as much as you.
You're his favorite.
No, Hamlet is.
He is gone.
Hamlet's a boy. He's worth more than any girl, even dead.
Susanna!
That's how things are, Judith. Why did you take it?
I wanted to write.
You can't even read.
You'll teach me.
Oh, no, I won't.
Oh, yes, you will.
Won't.
She tickles Judith.
Will.
Judith returns Susanna's tickle. The girls end up in a tickle fight and collapse in a heap mat.
We are their parents and original.
Girls, that was your cue.
Sorry, Papa.
We are their parents and original.
Judith and Susanna skip in character toward Anne to form her fairy retinue.
Do you amend it then? It lies in you. Why would Titania cross her Oberon?
The girls continue their tickle fight, giggle.
I do but beg a little changeling boy, a little boy.
Will?
Did no one care for the boy but me? Else why this sudden mirth?
Sorry, Papa.
Papa.
Anne pats them on their heads.
Your brother lies in the ground not a fortnight.
Why have us rehearse then? If you just want us to stay at home and be sad.
Judith.
Your father is under a lot of strain, girls. You know how he is with the new play.
If you had looked after him, he would still be here.
I think we've had enough rehearsing for one day.
She and the girls begin to gather up their things.
Pierre was poisoned with plague. You should have been fearful of infection.
I took care of our children, Will, whilst you were in London carousing with this month's muse.
What is the news, Mama?
These are the forgeries of jealousy.
Oh, don't you quote yourself at me. If you loved him as much as you profess, you would have been here to nurse him in his final hours, instead of just dropping in for his funeral. What are you, Will, a parent or a playwright?
The air in Stratford never did agree with me.
He exits.
Mama, where is Papa going?
Oh, you know how he is with the new play. Well, my dears, let's go home.
Scene 4. By the banks of the river Avon, Judith is helping Beatrice with the laundry. They are beating sheets and lines with sticks.
As I was going to Banbury,
I don't sing.
As I was going to Banbury, I saw a fine codlin apple tree with a rifle at the And when the codlings began to fall, rifle at the when the codlings began to fall, I found 500 men in all with a rifle at the
Is Banbury on the way to London, Beatrice?
Why care you, pray?
Papa might pass through it.
Mind what you're doing, child. I don't want the good roughs beaten flat into pancakes.
I wonder what Papa's doing now.
Writing, I expect. 'Twas always scribbling here and there, even as a lad. He went to the grammar school beside my brother Toby, who God rest his soul. Toby's gift was Latin, but Master Shakespeare was the one for letters. His hands 'twere always stained with ink, his sleeves too. 'Tis how I first learned to remove the stain, when Mamma took in young Master Shakespeare's laundry. A squeeze of lemon, a lit match, Bob's your uncle, the sleeve is fresh snow, till Master Shakespeare stained it again. Ah, well, he never had to do the great wash now, did he?
Hamlet loved the Great Wash. We'd hide in a buck basket and pretend we were elves. We gave Mama a terrible fright.
Oh,
He wiped
careful
away
with
at
that,
you.
oh, sorry. Careful with that lace.
Why did they call it the Great Wash?
Well, 'tis a great pain. If they could only invent some machine to wash all the linens and the undergarments and the overgarments, well, just think, what would we do with all that free time?
I'd learn my letters.
Oh, don't be daft.
I'm trying to teach myself, but it's hard.
Teach yourself letters. Why, pray?
Why not?
'Tis not a woman's place. Mind that embroidery now.
I found Hamlet's old copybook. Look.
She pulls it from under her skirts and shows it to Beatrice.
Put that away.
I took a letter and made up a story about it to help me remember. Like, O. O is round and fat, like an oyster should be. Hamlet liked oysters, and so does Papa.
Oh, and I suppose one day you'll be a writer like your papa.
Why not?
Judith,
Like father, like daughter.
men write, not women.
What about the Queen?
Oh, 'tis different.
Why?
Attend to you woolens now.
Why can't I be a writer?
This is woman's work, my child. Here on the banks of the Avon, we wash clothes, we cook, we get married, we have babies.
I can do that and write too.
And when will you have time to write, after ye are wed?
Maybe I won't marry. Not all women do. You didn't.
No, there was a lad once, a soldier.
Was he handsome?
Beware the man with a handsome face, my girl.
Why?
Mark my words. Give up this fancy for letters.
Why?
'Twill break your heart.
How?
Your heart breaks when you want too much.
All I want to do is read and write. Is that too much?
When the break comes, there'll be no to do but,
What?
ah!
Did your heart break, Beatrice?
Some things cannot be said in words.
Was it the soldier?
'Tis neither here nor there. Why don't you try, eh? Let out a good proper howl of your own.
No,
Come now. Oh,
Ooh!
call that a howl, girl. My 10-year-old cat Timothy could do better, and he's on death's door. Come on now. Put some back into it.
Ooh!
Oh, think of all that pain burning in your gut and brain, the yearning you have for letters. How does that make you feel?
Oh!
Good. Now, come back tomorrow and we'll work on your letters.
You can read and write?
Beatrice nods.
You'll teach me?
Beatrice nods.
But you said 'tis not a woman's place.
'Tis ourselves alone who can decide our place. Not that the world values a woman who can read or write. They pay dog that walks on 2 legs. Still, I'll teach ye if you have the stomach.
Oh, Beatrice!
She rushes to her and hugs her.
Now, what about those under things, eh? They're not going to clean themselves.
Judith smiles and pulls away from her. They resume the washing. Scene 5, outside Beatrice's house the next day.
What comes after V?
Why?
No.
You?
No, that's before. What else could it be, I wonder?
Oh, W.
Very good. Name some W words.
Wash, well, William.
What did you tell your mother?
That you were teaching me about bluing.
Ah.
What is bluing?
Or you soak your whites with powder of indigo or crushed bits of blue gloss.
Why?
How do you spell Y?
Isn't it just the letter Y?
No, it's 2 Y's put together, Y.
Wouldn't that be YY?
No, the second Y is silent.
Are you sure?
Do you doubt me, girl?
No.
Very good. We're finished with the alphabet. Then do some bluing, else your mother will suspect.
Lights change. Another day's lesson several months later. Judith wears a shawl to ward off the fall chill.
Roses are pink, whites are soaked in blue. We swell them in the tub and soak them in the dew.
How do you spell dew?
D-E-W.
E.
There's no E.
No, there's an extra E at the end.
Are you sure?
It's silent.
Don't you like it? My poem?
'Tis a novel thing to pen verses about laundry.
I want laundry to be beautiful. I want everything to be beautiful.
Beauty can be a snare.
You sound like Pastor Thomas.
Beauty is wondrous, but 'tis not all, Judith.
What do you mean?
Plain linen will stay the course, but lace will fray. Anyway, what good is lace to us now that autumn is at our door?
The world can't be reduced to a buck basket, Beatrice.
Mark my words, Miss Judith. You chase after beauty, you may end up in a winding sheet.
Lights change. Another lesson 1 year later.
A rose is a rose is a rose.
Do you mean that which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet?
No.
You have made much progress over the year. Your style is quite different from your father's.
I am myself.
What do you mean?
I am my own person, free to claim whatever place I choose.
Oh, if only 'twere that simple.
You said 'tis up to ourselves to decide our place in this world.
And you listen to the babblings of a silly old woman?
You are neither silly nor old, Miss Beatrice.
Oh, bless you, child. Now, did you write out the recipe for the bluing powder?
No.
No, I've never known you to refuse an assignment. I know 'tis not poetry, but 'tis knowledge necessary to all good housewives.
I don't want to be a good housewife.
Old maids and housewives alike must do the washing or pay someone to do it for them, like your mother does me.
What happened to your soldier, Beatrice?
'Tis neither here nor there.
What was the here and there?
'Twas a long time ago.
He distract you from your letters.
Judith Shakespeare? Do you have a sweetheart? Is that why all this talk?
No, I saw a boy I liked.
A boy?
Oh, he's so handsome, beautiful, with dark hair and dark, flashing eyes, like Romeo from Papa's play.
And where did you meet this young Romeo, pray?
I saw him in church and the tavern.
Are you in love with a barkeep? Or you're just a child?
He's not a barkeep. He's a boy. He's my age, I think.
Who is this boy?
I don't know.
He hasn't told you his name?
He doesn't know mine. He doesn't know anything about me.
Oh, you haven't spoke?
He smiled at me.
In the tavern?
In church.
At your age, you are not to smile at young men.
Did your soldier smile at you? Was that how it began?
Write out the recipe for bluing powder now.
Should I smile back?
Do you want to learn to write or not?
I know how to write now.
Oh, are you the next Shakespeare?
Yes. That is, I hope to be.
Don't let your head be turned by beauty alone, dear Judith, else 'tis the winding sheet for you.
You mean, if I smile at him, I'll die? Or grow big child from a mere flash of teeth?
Judith!
I don't see the harm, smiling at him, talking to him, just because your soldier broke your heart.
What if he breaks your heart, this boy? What then?
The course of true love never did run smooth.
Do you know what that means, that line of your father's?
Since Hamlet was put in the ground, Papa spends a lot of time in London, with other company.
And you think love is a trifle, a plaything that leaves no wound?
I want to see him again, that boy in the tavern. I want him to smile at me. I want to smile back.
I'd smile if you'd finish your work. 10 lines on bluing powder, my girl. That's an order.
The woolens are dry. I'll take them back to Mama.
Judith exits.
Judith.
Scene 6, outside the Swan Tavern. Judith stands peering in at the window, the basket of woolens at her feet. Thomas appears in the doorway. Still a boy, he is a few years older than Judith. At his appearance, Judith immediately sticks her nose in a book to look nonchalant.
Miss,
He smiles at Judith. Judith hesitates, then smiles back.
do you need anything?
Me? Oh, no. I'm just reading my book.
In front of a tavern?
'Tis a very quiet place.
A drunken customer staggers out, burps loudly, and stumbles away.
Really?
My book. 'Tis so wondrously writ, I notice not else.
You have a way with words.
Thank you.
I mean, you use a lot of big words for a girl.
Oh, you don't think girls can have large lexicons?
Lexicons?
That means the words you know, vocabulary.
I knew that.
Oh, did you know that vocabulary ends in 2 Y's? The second Y is silent.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any girls who can read. How did you learn?
A friend.
A man friend or a woman friend?
Does it matter?
Oh, no.
He peers over her shoulder to see what she is reading.
Romeo and Juliet. Is that the new play by Master Shakespeare?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was only sold in London.
It was a gift from my father.
He does business in London?
He's Master Shakespeare.
You're Shakespeare's daughter!
Judith nods.
His younger daughter, Judith.
Tom smiles.
Thomas. Oh.
Thomas Corny.
Will you come by tomorrow? We could walk towards the river.
Beatrice appears.
So that's where the woolens got to. I thought you were I thought you were taking them straight home. Who was your young friend, Judith?
This is
Thomas!
Thomas Quinny, madam, forgive me, but I'm needed within. Mayhaps I'll see you tomorrow, Judith?
Miss Judith has lessons every day.
Of course. Delighted to have made your acquaintance, madam. Judith Shakespeare.
Thomas smiles, then scurries into the tavern.
So this is your smiling young man.
Isn't he beautiful?
I've seen handsomer.
He was impressed by my book.
She shows her Romeo and Juliet.
'Tis heavy reading for so young a mind.
Oh, I feel just like Juliet.
Beware the winding sheet, my girl.
What does that mean?
If you pursue the smiling lad, you'll find out. Mark my words.
Blackout. Scene 6. Judith and Susanna's bedroom, the Shakespeare home, Christmas Eve. Susanna is dressed as a fairy, as she was for the rehearsal of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Susanna is testing out her wings.
They pinch.
You've grown.
My bosom has. Soon I'll be too old for play acting.
Because you have a bosom?
Because I'm a grown woman.
I'll have to find someone else to play the fairy queen then. Oh, 'tis a great shame. I made this new crown with silver leaves from Miss Beatrice. A fine lady from Banbury wanted her to retrim a dress. These were left over, and she gave them to me.
She holds aloft a silvery crown.
I won't be fully grown till after Christmas, surely.
Susanna picks up the crown and puts it on her head.
An odd name for a character.
Christmas is a time for ghosts.
Judith wraps herself in a sheet.
Beware the winding sheet.
What?
You look like a corpse.
Well, I am a ghost, after all. Ooh, ooh.
She rushes at Susanna and tickles her. The girls burst into laughter, but Susanna stops herself.
Judith, 'tis unseemly.
Women can't laugh.
Mama says with mirth and laughter, old wrinkles come.
Is that why she doesn't smile?
Judith!
Let's rehearse. Here.
She hands Susanna her sides.
You paid a clerk to write down your words? Or a schoolboy from the grammar? A sweetheart, mayhaps? The boy who works in the tavern? The one with the crooked smile?
What care I for Thomas Quinny?
You know his name.
I don't need him. I wrote it all myself.
Judith, you can read and write.
So can you.
Only because Papa taught me before fame took him from us. Who taught you?
Miss Beatrice.
Susanna glances at her paper.
She spelled fairy with 2 Y's.
The second is silent.
That's wrong.
No. Miss Beatrice said.
Miss Beatrice knows how to starch, lace, and clean linen. It doesn't mean she can spell.
Judith takes the crown from Susanna's head.
Judith!
Miss Beatrice is a genius.
Susanna pushes her elbow. Judith pushes back. The two get into a fight. Suddenly, Shakespeare appears. The girls stop fighting.
Papa.
Papa, we did not expect you till after 12 nights.
The playhouse is closed early. Wretched plague. I did not expect to find my daughters fighting like 2 bears in a pit. Susanna, you're almost a grown woman.
Sorry, Papa.
Still playing dress-up, I see.
'Tis for a play.
Whose play?
Mine.
She hands Shakespeare her sides.
'Tis a spidery hand, extravagant, a bit wobbly. Who penned this for you, pray?
Me.
Who taught you your letters?
Miss Beatrice.
The washerwoman.
I know who Miss Beatrice is, Susanna.
She's a genius.
I see. Well, Judith Shakespeare, show us your play.
He hands the sides back to her.
Papa, I give you the most wondrous lament of the fairy queen, or the lost child of Christmas past.
But we haven't practiced.
Susanna, you stand there, and I'll stand here.
Judith gives Susanna a reassuring glance. Susanna flits across the stage in a suitably otherworldly manner as the fairy queen. She falls to her knees and begins to weep in character. Judith enters as the ghost of Christmas past.
Weep not, O fairy queen.
Who's there?
The ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
This is passing strange.
What's past is prologue.
Rise and walk with me. Let us together find the source of this wellspring of tears. For what's gone and what's past help should be past grief.
Grief fills the room up of my absent child, lies in his bed, walks from down with me, puts on his pretty looks, repeats his words, remembers me of all his gracious parts, stuffs out his vacant garments with his form.
Shakespeare starts to cry.
Papa!
And now you've done it.
Look, 'tis enough play for one day. Why don't you help your mother with the mince pies, Susanna?
Yes, Papa.
Susanna exits, removing her crown and wings as she goes.
Papa? I'm sorry I made you cry.
Lose this?
Page 37.
I'm so sorry. So sorry, I had it confused. Yes,
I'm sorry I made you cry.
I had a motive in mind, is all.
Oh. What did you think then? Of the play? Was it that bad?
No, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
You didn't like it?
How came you to the idea?
Hamnet. I miss him. Don't you?
Shakespeare is silent.
Do you ever wish it was me?
What?
Do you wish it was me that died of plague instead of Hamnet?
Shakespeare is silent.
Do you?
The grief that does not speak whispers the all-fraught heart and bids it break.
I think death made a mistake. That he came for me, but in the dead of night he took Hamnet by mistake. He stole the wrong twin, just like I stole Hamnet's pen.
She shows the stolen pen to Shakespeare, who twirls it in between his fingers.
You have your pen, my bonny nitpipkin. Now find your voice.
He hands the pen back to her.
Papa?
What are your plans for this play?
I thought Susanna and me could play it for 12th night, for you and Mama.
What if it was our secret? Yours, mine, and Susanna's.
You do think it's bad?
If your mother heard it...
She would be angry?
Some words are too painful to be heard. Do you understand, Pipkin?
Yes, Papa.
She hugs him.
Do you have any advice on the play, how to make it better?
Now, go help your mother and sister. Mince pies won't make themselves.
Yes, Papa.
Blackout. Scene 7, the churchyard at Holy Trinity beside Hamlet's grave, Christmas morning. Judith stands holding the pages of her play.
Some words are too painful to be heard. Some words, Oh!
She flings the pages into the air. As they fly away, one of them hits Thomas. He picks up the sheaf of paper.
What's this?
Nothing.
Grief fills the room up of my absent child, lies in his bed, walks up and down with me.
Tis mine.
Did you write this?
Yes.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
What does that mean?
You are your father's daughter.
He hated it.
Really?
Why else would he tell me to keep it a secret? I wanted to play it for 12th night with SUSANNA, to show Papa and Mama.
Grief fills the room up of my absent child. What does that mean?
What it says.
I'm not a poet like you, Miss Shakespeare. Can you explain?
The Fairy Queen, she had lost her child, her son. In his absence, her home is filled with tears.
You've lost a brother.
Hamnet, a twin.
And how fares your mother with this loss?
She cries. When she thinks we're not looking, her tears salt the gravy and the mince pies.
She takes a mince pie out of her pocket.
I bought this for him, Hamnet.
She puts it on the ground by his grave.
It was his favorite part of Christmas. He used to love to mix up currants and the brandy wine at Mama's side.
Do you not think some words are too painful to be heard?
Don't make fun of me, Thomas Quinney.
I'm not.
You were listening to me before, hiding behind one of the graves, listening to me speak my thoughts, and now you parrot my words back to me.
She starts to pummel him with her hands. He pulls her back.
I swear to you, I do no such thing. On my sister's grave. That's why I'm here. I visit her grave every Christmas.
Judith steps away from him.
You lost a sister,
To the plague.
like Hamnet.
Yes. I think your father wants to protect your mother from your play.
Oh, my play is dangerous now. The story of the Fairy Queen and the Ghost of Christmas Past. Well, she'll hear it and drop dead, murdered by bad writing.
It's nothing to do if it's good or bad.
Do you think it's bad?
I think it's the best thing I have ever read.
Oh, you can tell all that from 3 lines.
Yes. No. What I mean is about the play and keeping it secret. I think your father doesn't want to cause your mother more tears. About Hamnet?
The ocean could not hold all her tears. Oh, you men who think women cannot bear weeping. We weep every day. You just don't see.
You're crying now.
No, I'm not.
Here.
He hands her a kerchief to wipe her face. Judith hesitates.
'Tis a present. Happy Christmas.
Judith takes the kerchief. He laughs. Judith joins in.
Happy Christmas, Thomas Quinney.
She kisses him on the forehead. Blackout.
Yay!
Nice little story.
Very sweet, Heather.
Oh,